Happy Wednesday, scholars. I've got news for you because there are no Zern lessons today, but I want you to use this time to catch up. If you haven't gotten to lesson 17, you need to be completed all the way up to lesson 17 and 18 because tomorrow is lesson 19. And of course, our daily meme is President Obama saying, "I'm coming for you. I hope you made your inch ruler on Monday." Because we are going to use that today and we're going to make our inch ruler even better. Are you ready for this? Let's go. Quick, what are the benchmarks for an inch, foot, and a yard? You did this yesterday with Miss Matthews. A benchmark for an inch is a quarter. A benchmark for a foot is a piece of paper sideways, exactly. And a benchmark for the yard is the width of a door frame. So it is very, very important to keep these benchmarks in our brain. So when we're estimating how big or how long something is, we can use this to help us, would I measure this with an inch, a foot, or a yard? Oh, I wonder if my phone is about, what is that, about 6 inches, 7 inches? I could use quarters in my brain to think about how long my phone might be. We'll do that later and I'll tell you about it more. But for now, we are going to measure objects twice using different length units and compare. So we are going to relate measurement to unit size, which is a fancy way of saying if we're measuring it with small units, or if we're measuring things with quarters, there's going to be a lot more quarters than if we measure things with a piece of paper. If we measure things with a piece of paper, there's going to be less pieces of paper because pieces of papers are bigger, right? All right, so who remembers working with centimeters? Are they bigger or smaller than inches? Think about it. They are smaller, absolutely. They are smaller than inches. Centimeters are centimeter. They are small, and inches are larger. Inches. We can see that if we look at this picture. We can see that we have a crayon that we're measuring over here, and we're also measuring a pencil, but the crayon is being measured in inches. See how they're larger, and the pencil is being measured in centimeters. There are a ton more centimeters than there are inches. Also over here, we can see two rulers lined up next to each other, measuring the inch down here and measuring the centimeter up here. The centimeters are way smaller and the inches are way bigger. So we're going to explore that even more today by actually making our ruler even better. So let's add some centimeters to our ruler, and I will show you how. I could use either one of these materials, but today I'm going to use this one because it's a little bit more accurate. I measured it, so if you have a big safety pin like this, use that. You see how last time on Monday we made our inch ruler using this side of the ruler, and we counted up using the quarter. But today, kind of like when you look at an actual ruler like this, one side is inches and one side is centimeters, and they're flipped. I would flip it like this. So we're going to do the exact same thing with our ruler. We're going to flip it upside down to where 0 is over here and 12 is over here, and the numbers are upside down. I'm going to do my centimeters lines today with a different colored pen. If you want a different colored pen or a different colored marker or something to draw on the centimeters so you don't get confused with the inch marks that you've already created, that would probably be wise. So I'm going to start over here with my safety pin, and it's going to be at the very, very, very end. See how it's lined up at the very end, and I'm going to draw a line starting at the bottom of this all the way up to the top. And just like we did with my inches, I'm going to keep doing the same thing with iteration across the whole ruler. You can watch as I create my own centimeter ruler. I wrote the numbers on top or on the bottom of the lines, and I drew those lines all the way to the end of the ruler. You might get to about 29 or 30 centimeters by the end of the ruler, which is actually correct. There should be about 30 centimeters on your ruler, but it's okay if it's not perfect. Like I said, we're just doing our best with the materials that we have at home. So now that we've completed our ruler with both centimeters and inches, let's measure a few things. Are y'all ready? We are going to start by measuring things around our house. So I told you on Monday to measure a few things the best that you could around your house. But today I'm going to have you actually measure a few things here at your home during the lesson while we're doing it together, okay? So get out a piece of paper and you're going to do this for me. You're gonna do that, show me. I'm gonna show you. Write lesson 18 and draw a big box with 3 columns that says object, length in centimeters, and length in inches, okay? You're gonna draw that, you're gonna draw a nice little box, and we are going to find 3 different things to measure in both our centimeters and our inches now that our ruler is created, okay? If you're still working on your ruler, please pause me. Please pause me if you're still working on your ruler. And then you can press play when you're ready to measure. All right, let's get going. So some of the things that I found around my house, I don't know if they're in your house, but I have a phone. So I was thinking, why don't I measure my phone with my ruler? And I can do that because I have my centimeter side and my inches side. The first thing I'm going to do is measure it in centimeters, which is my green side with all the itty bitty lines, okay? So I'm going to start that at the tippy top. See how I've got it lined up at the top? I go all the way down to the bottom and I'm at about 15 centimeters, okay? So that's why I put it in there. And then I can flip it onto my inches side and I can start at the very top and I can measure all the way down and I've got about 6 inches. And see how I labeled that on my chart. So I want you to stop, find 3 things around your house and do that measuring, okay? Maybe it's a phone, and then I went and found a picture book, and so I measured my picture book and how long it was using both inches and centimeters. And then I found a chapter book. I went up to the very tippy top and I measured and saw how many centimeters it was first, and then I flipped it around and did how many inches it was. So I want you to stop here and measure three things around your house that you can create and that you can write on your chart, okay? So pause me now if you need time to do that. I'm going to go ahead and move on. Do you notice anything about those numbers of your inches and the numbers of centimeters? Do you notice anything about those numbers? I notice that the inches are there's way less inches and there's more centimeters. Why do I think that is? Why are there more centimeters in my measurement and less inches in my measurement? I hope that you're thinking something like, Ms. McFarland, inches are bigger than centimeters. So they're going to take up more space, right? Centimeters are smaller, so they're going to take up smaller space. So there's going to be a lot of centimeters, and there's only going to be a few inches. And I would say, good job, scholar. You're exactly right. All right, let's keep moving. Using this homemade ruler that you have made, we're going to move on to a different activity. Now that you've found 3 things around your house that you can measure, quickly, we're going to move on to this activity where you take out this piece of paper that you were just working on, and you're going to make one line that's 5 inches and one line that's 5 centimeters. Do you think the line of 5 inches is going to be shorter or longer than 5 centimeters? Before you do anything, do you think that 5-inch line is going to be shorter or longer than 5 centimeters? All right, draw with me. All right, so now I'm going to draw my line of 5 inches and then my 5 centimeter line as well. So I have to remember which side I am on. If I'm on this side with the black marks, I can even write it over here. I'm going to be doing my inches. If I'm on my green marks over here, I'm going to be measuring centimeters. Try your best not to keep it trying to make it neat as possible. I know it's easy to get messy, but just try your best. So 5 inches, am I going to use my green side or my black side? I'm going to use black because that's my inch side. So I'm going to start at the very end. I'm going to start at 0 because this is my 0 at the end, and I'm going to go to 5. Watch how I do my line. See, it's not perfect, but that's a-okay because this is 5-inch line. I'm going to flip it, and I'm going to do this one. On the green side, I start here at the end. I draw my line. Oops. I draw my line to 5. And let's see which one's longer and which one's shorter. Were you right? Did you think the 5 centimeters was going to be shorter than 5 inches? I hope you were. Now let's think, how many centimeters do you think it would take to make 5 inches? If I were to measure this line in centimeters, do you think you're going to have more than 5 or less than 5? More than 5, right? Because this is 5 centimeters. So if I estimate that about this line, if I estimate how many centimeters it is, I'm going to estimate that it's more than 5 and maybe even doubled, maybe even about 10 inches, because it looks like I could do 2 of these lines and fill up this line. So I could even take my paper that I just did, my 5-inch line that I just created, and I can use my centimeter side, my green side, and measure it. Now, when I measure it, let me see. I don't know about yours, but I've got about 12 centimeters. Is that what you got? 12 centimeters? So I was pretty close, 10 centimeters and 12 centimeters. That's pretty close, right? Okay, what about 5 centimeter line? What if I were to measure this 5 centimeter line in inches? Would I have less than 5 inches or more than 5 inches? Let me use my inch side. Let me hold it up to my 5 centimeter. I'm going to estimate it's only going to be like 1 or 2 inches because look at how short it is. Let's see. I estimated 1 or 2, and looky there. It is 2 inches long. Can y'all believe that? It's only 2 inches long, but it's 5 centimeters. Isn't that so cool? I just love looking at how different they are, whether they're centimeters or whether they're inches. They have different measurements, and we can know that since centimeters are smaller, there's going to be a lot more of them than the inches because inches are bigger and they take up more space. That's all that I have for you today, and I hope you enjoyed making your ruler, and now you can really use this in lots of different situations, whether you're measuring in inches or centimeters. And you know, it even looks like a professional ruler, which, you know, if you want to, you can always use the ruler. If your parents have one at home, if your family has a ruler, then that's really awesome. But sometimes we don't have rulers sitting around our house, so we've got to make our own. And you remember inch, foot, yard, right? Do it with me. Inch, foot, yard. Nice job. Okay, that's all I've got. Have a good day. Bye.